Attention all stations. Attention all stations. This is Victor Alpha 3, Charlie Juliet Zulu. The AREG net will start at 8 p.m. in under 5 minutes, and I will pass the baton over to Victor Alpha 3 Indy Mike Whiskey as I'm not feeling well. So I will be streaming the net from YouTube down here below the escarpment by the center mall. And Mac is up on the escarpment, and he will do the AREG net tonight. I'll be standing by, but I may or may not be available if I'm called. This is Victor Alpha 3, Charlie Juliet Zulu. Attention all stations. Attention all stations. This is Victor Alpha 3, Charlie Juliet Zulu. The Amateur Radio Exchange Group Net Week 1526 will start in less than a minute, and Mac will be your net controller as I am not feeling well, but I will stream the net live on YouTube. Put VA3CJZ in the YouTube search, and you can listen to us there. Good luck, Mac, and thank you very much. This is Victor Alpha 3, Charlie Juliet Zulu.
Well, good evening, Chuck. I just got back in time. How does that song? I just came back to say goodbye, but we're just saying hello. So, 1526, that's the magic number. Victor Alpha 3 India Mike Whiskey is with you, and only too glad to step in and give you the satisfaction of hearing my voice. I've been off the radio for a couple of days with some business travel. More than happy to take some check-ins for the net tonight. I've not done any research for things on this day, so you just never know. We may ask Chuck to come back in and fill in some details. And as well, there's some lower power stations in the north end that we're not always able to hear, so we'll be for relays as well. So let's open up the net and start taking check-ins for week number 1526 of the AREG. Victor Alpha 3 India Mike Whiskey is at your disposal.
Papa Delta Lima, that sounds terrible.
Okay, one so far. Papa Delta Lima, that sounds terrible. Thank you very much that I've got you in the log. How are you doing tonight? And did you manage to dispense with your company?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. It's just the fam damly now, and it's quiet in the house. Got the two noisemakers outside, and I'm in a house with the quiet one. So all is well in the neighborhood. And yep, just to being in the pot, I'll be listening along and antagonizing when possible.
All right, well, keep up the good work. How is grandbaby doing? Is she resident with you guys in the house there in the mountain, or is she off somewhere else?
Well, the newest one was my grandson, and my daughter moved out 4 days before she had the baby. And my son's baby girl, which is only 3 years older, is doing great. They're both doing great. So all is well there too. Thanks for asking, sir.
Okay, well, glad everybody's doing well. So grandson is the young one. That's where I got mixed up. And the part I'm still trying to get my head around is how your daughter kept this a secret until a few days before the grand event. That's amazing.
Oh yeah, all my friends, Mickey included. He's been here a bunch and seen her, and he goes, "Get out of here!" Like you could see a little pouch there, if you will, but it wasn't big, and certainly wasn't big like for me. No way did I think she was pregnant. And if I asked, she said, "Nope, just eating good, Dad." And she was doing her best to keep it covered too, right? Long sweaters and baggy clothes and stuff. So, yeah.
Okay, well, there you go. I know I've heard of heavier ladies that have not realized that they were even pregnant until they got into labor, had belly pains, gone into the hospital and found out, oh, there is something there. Oh, surprise! Everybody's surprised. Well, healthy and happy. That's the way we want our grandchildren. All right, that's 3 of us so far. Still looking for a few more check-ins. Week number 1526. Let me do the math. No, I'm not going to do that tonight. I'm on vacation. This is Victor Alpha 3 in the back west. Get the mouth in gear. Okay, any more check-ins for the AREG net? Come on in.
Victor Echo 3, Bravo Mike Oscar.
Victor Echo 3, Golf Bravo Delta.
Okay, last station you doubled. That's Victor Alpha 3 Kilo Bravo Delta.
George, Victor Echo 3 Golf Bravo Delta.
Okay, George, you're not the last. You're the second last, and you stepped on it again. Victor Alpha 3 something Kilo. There's a Yankee in there somewhere. George, just be quiet and rest. The Kilo station, come on back in one more time with your call sign. Okay, TKA, I got that. Tango Kilo Alpha, right. And there was somebody else on underside of you. Not sure who that was. Any other stations looking to check in? Come on in with your call sign.
B3 Bravo Kilowatt.
Oh, the big kahuna. Okay. If that offends you, I'm sorry in advance. All right, let's go back up and hear from Pierre. Good to hear you tonight. I understand you took your big fat radio out for some new tube installation. How did that all go?
That worked out all right. I might add. PDL's still alive. I'm still alive. And, yeah, worked out all right.
Okay, so that was one of those high-risk maneuvers where you had to take the casing off the radio in order to get inside and play with the guts and not get RF burns and all the rest of the stuff associated with that. Anyways, I just kind of wondered whether you were taking the big radio on the road for maybe some POTA activations. That would have been good. All you need is like a 60,000 volt generator in order to run that off site, Rich.
Oh yeah, I definitely needed a big inverter for this thing. That's a definite. I don't know what it draws, but yeah, I can imagine. If the lights are flickering in my bedroom here, I'm sure it's a lot.
Okay, roger that. But you got the new tubes installed and everything's back home, and you carted it all back upstairs?
Yeah, actually all I had to do was take the amplifier is all I took. And yeah, it's heavy enough. That thing's a tank. It's heavy.
Okay, well, excellent. I heard you on Dave's 10 band extravaganza this afternoon, so sounding really good. Okay, you're going to stick around for a while tonight, Pierre, or are you kind of in and out? You going back to work tomorrow?
No, I got the day off tomorrow. I was already pre-warned. Don't even bother coming in. You'll be wasting your time. Because I'm still sweeping out St. Catharines, and if we get any kind of anything, it'll be just a waste of a trip and a whole lot of fuel for nothing. Consider fuel is pretty expensive, diesel anyways. And yeah, when you heard me today, I was only on the like 50 watts or something like that out of the radio. I caught the tail end of him bouncing around, or I would have participated a little more.
Yeah, well, that was interesting fun. We covered everything from 70 centimeters down to 40 meters. He didn't want to zip down and touch 80 meters for some reason, but I think he was concerned that somebody was going to spot him on the POTA app, and then he would have got locked down with a log jam and would have been crazy. But yeah, it was something to do with 10 bands and 10 parks, and there's a special November Charlie award for that. Not sure. I'll have to look into that. Okay, thanks for that, Pierre, and let's go ahead and say hello to George. I'm not even going to ask you if you parked in the ditch, because that's getting really old, and I'm going to apologize in advance. But you're sounding good tonight, George. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mac. I appreciate you taking over for Chuck. obviously he's not feeling good. I don't have much to report. I parked my truck in the ditch, and I'm gonna leave it there. No, just kidding. It stays out front. But anyway, no, it's good to hear you guys out there, and just throwing a bean in the pot there.
All right, a few more like that, and we'll have baked beans for breakfast. Very good. So how did things go with the little missus? Did she manage to find something else to do? I know her last employer didn't appreciate her very much. How's that going?
No, she's still, well, right now she's on Puggy, but, she's had a couple of job offers, but she just wants to just kind of relax right now during Christmas, settle down, and then, yeah, no, everything is good. Everything's actually real good.
Well, that's very good to hear. Very good to hear. And obviously, with every time somebody is dispensed from their job, there's a settlement of some sort, and that helps to cushion the blow. And then, obviously, taking some time to make sure that next step in your employment history is a step forward, not one sideways or backwards. All right, George, you going to stick around for a bit?
Oh, absolutely.
All righty. Well, sentiments exactly the same. We all hope Chuck is climbing back to the top of the world, and he can get over this cold or flu or whatever it is that's dragging him down. I keep telling him that he's not visiting really good places. Walmart attracts a certain kind of people. So be very careful where you go, because the world is one big ugly petri dish. Anyways, definitely happy to see the net going on, and only too happy to do my part. All right. So thanks for that, George. And let's go ahead and say hello to the often stepped on but never displaced Victor Alpha 3 Tango Kilo Alpha. Good evening. If you wouldn't mind, just give me your first personal as well.
His name is Andy.
Yeah, it does ring a bell now. I think I've heard you check in with our pad a couple of times as well. And welcome to the neighborhood. This net runs every Wednesday evening at 8 o'clock. It starts at 8 p.m. We usually wrap up around 10. No real topics. Obviously, it's a Simplex Net because we want to be able to exercise our 2-meter radios and make sure that they're all working well. As you can tell, the net's been going on for quite some time. This is week number 1526. So that's quite a few years. And obviously, the net was started by John many, many years ago. And I think it was somewhere between 3 and 4 years ago that Chuck picked it up. And he's been doing most every week all by himself. So once in a while, he goes out of town, maybe for a vacation, or maybe he's down under the weather for one reason or another, and somebody else will sub in for him. But we want to make sure that this net proceeds on a weekly basis so we can preserve the heritage. Anyways, glad to hear you coming in. And obviously with the Simplex Net, like I said, We do encourage relays for some of the weaker stations so that nobody loses out a turn. Back to you.
No, can't hear you, buddy. Sorry.
Why didn't that go quiet?
Well, George, that's because we were listening to a station that was talking to us from Mount Hope, out by the airport. So typically when Chuck runs the net, he hears everything down in your neck of the woods. And Chuck probably wouldn't have heard this station, but Andy, VA3TKA, was coming to me with close to an S9 transmitting from Mount Hope. Anyways, thanks for that, Andy, and appreciate your checking in with us. You're going to stick around for a bit?
He was 5 by 5 here, Mac.
Yeah, that was Paul, VE3PDL. He just gave you a 5 by 5 report, and he's Central Mountain. So you're 5 by 9 to my station, doing a really good job. Thanks for that, Andy. And let's not keep the big kahuna waiting. Rick, how you doing tonight?
Oh.
Hey, not too bad. I'm trying to tune Andy in and I can't. He's in Mount Hope. Well, he must have a weak station because I can't hear him. Even with my directional. Anyway, for Chuck, I was exchanging messages back and forth with our friend there in Australia. So Chuck, if you're listening there, so Reg sent me some emails, but I never actually talked to him or saw him. So I thought I'd try him tonight. He's got his computer on, but he didn't answer. So I guess he's not available anyway. So good to hear that you're picking up there, Mac. And I was going to maybe ask you on Monday, because I had a really bad day on Monday. Busy. And I wasn't feeling too good, but I did it anyway. And we didn't have all our usual check-ins. Like Chuck didn't make it, so I guess Chuck was right last week. Remember, last week he was saying that his wife came home sick and he expected to pick it up the next day or soon. So it looks like it's got him. And B3QEE, he came down with a cold or something too. So it's all these people going around maybe without masks or whatever, and we got other bugs going around besides COVID. So I guess the guys that were wearing masks when we had COVID, the people were staying home and wearing masks all the time. So now they're not, I guess. Mac anyway. So they still recommend you do it, and out of the warplane, they're recommending you do it because we still had the new variant is reared its ugly head out there with the staff and volunteers. So they're suggesting, no, they don't not compulsory, but they're suggesting that everybody wear a mask. So that's the way it is out there. Anyway, so I guess it's still a good idea if you go into an inside place, especially a small place, small store or something. Maybe it's a good idea to be safe rather than sorry and pick up bugs. But when your wife brings it home, Sorry about that, Chuck. I guess when your wife brings it home, that's pretty hard. And I know that my daughter, is one of the first-line workers, and she was telling me that some of the girls that she worked with, they their husbands had to stay in another room and stuff. Couldn't sleep in the same room as her wife or whatever for that same reason. So, so anyway, well, you either get it or you don't. So anyway, if Chuck is still there, if you want to say a few words, Chuck, go ahead. Otherwise, Mac, pick it up. They're VE3BK.
Yeah, Rick, thanks. VA3CJZ. First of all, I'm glad you're able to talk to Reg a little bit through email. Find out how he's doing physically there too, and let us know. But as far as getting the cold from my wife, she works at Swiss Chalet, and she says she wears a mask all the time. But there's two things at the workplace that people don't think about, and that's the fact that it's a woman and they share toilet seat, for staff there. So she probably picked it up off a toilet seat, or they all share the telephone, for deliveries and takeouts and whatnot. They got a lot of people share the telephone. So it's no wonder she got it. But she wears a mask all the time at work. So, anyways, okay, Rick, thanks. Back to you.
Oh yeah, telephone. That's a good spot. I mean, people don't think about that. You're right. Yeah, they don't think about that, and that's one good place to pick it up. And I know that some people have that antiseptic spray they spray on the telephone before they use it, but you gotta watch my breakfast telephone too. If you spray it too bad, that's my dog barking in the background there. He gets annoyed when I talk on the phone. That's the black shepherd. Anyway, yeah, Chuck. So yeah, well, Marty wears masks all the time too on the warplane, and he came down with something from somewhere, and before he had something else, some childhood disease, and it was brought to him by his grandchildren. So his grandchild, he's only got one, yeah. It was brought to him by his grandchild. So there you go. You never know, and that grandchild is preschool. So yeah, I wonder where he picked it up. Anyway, I won't keep it any longer. And Mac, good to hear you in there. I nearly called you on Monday, like I said. And but anyway, we did it, and a lot of the local guys didn't show up, like Chuck and yourself. Even I don't think you were there on Monday. Anyway, it was still good. We had one of the guys from Mount Hope area going out that way check in. One of the guys that goes to the warplane, and he's learning CW at the age of 75. I think he's 75 or 76. He's learning CW, so I did a little practice with him. So it turned out well on Monday night, even though I didn't have as many check-ins. But Chuck always gets lots on this one. So good to hear you guys in there. And back to you, Mac. And if you want to say anything there, Chuck, go ahead, and then Mac will pick it up, I'm sure. It'll be 3BK.
No, that's it.
Okay, yes, we're going to keep Chuck from talking because he needs to save his throat. All right. Strangely enough, every time you need me to step in, I'm out of town. I can remember the call. I was in Windsor. You gave me a phone call, and unfortunately, I wasn't able to help you out. Not last night, but Monday evening, I was down in Michigan. I had a 2-day stint in Sterling Heights for tool trials. So, no, I wasn't able to get in and say hello to you guys on 3.693 Monday evening, and I wasn't able to say hi to Marty on the 2-meter net either. So, definitely missed that, and I even missed RPAD's net and the D-Star net last night. So That's what working for a living and traveling and all the rest of that does to your schedules. But then again, I have to keep reminding myself that working for a living is what pays for this hobby. All right. So thanks for that, Rick. And yeah, trust everybody stays ahead of things. Obviously, we'll be looking for some good news coming out of Australia as well. All right. I've come down to the bottom of my list so far. Still looking for a few more check-ins for week number 1526 of the AREG, the Amateur Radio Exchange Group. Any new check-ins, please come on forward.
Victor Alpha 3, Victor Alpha Delta, R-Pod is on there.
Yay.
Okay, Victor Alpha 3, Victor Alpha Delta, RPAD, good to hear you again, and certainly good to be back home amongst our regular crowd. Go ahead.
Hello, Mark. Good evening to you again. And yep, you're coming in loud and clear. You're giving me an S9. Yep, I used two different radios. I have to turn off because we are in Simplex, so I'm on the beam right now. The beam is giving me an S9, and the omnidirectional antenna gives me an S9 on your transmission. And yeah, I try to point it at you, and it looks like you are west of me. So yeah, how do you read me?
Well, the meter says S20, so that's, well, what's the proper terminology? 59 plus 20, 59 plus 20. So very good signal.
Okay, very good. Yeah, I'm just playing with the rotor here a little bit. I'm turning the beam left and right as I'm talking. And yeah, I explained to the guys at the Toronto ARES Net you are doing a net here. So they said they are going to let it slide for today anyways.
Oh, okay, so Wednesday night, that's either Dan or Robert. Which one's net control tonight?
Yeah, it was Dan. It wasn't Robert.
Okay, yeah, very good, very good. Yeah, it's too bad. It's strange, you know, just being out of town for a couple of days, missing the Monday night nets and the Tuesday night nets, makes you feel like you're missing a long lost cousin or something like that. But it's definitely good to be back on familiar territory and able to communicate. Roger?
You know what? You don't have to worry too much. You know, if it gives you an anxiety because you're not checking into the net, you are too dedicated. So yeah, this is a hobby, and it's for fun. And if you're missing a few days, hey, more power to you.
Yeah, my wife doesn't call it a hobby anymore. She calls it my addiction, and she may be right.
So what is she saying? Is she saying my hobby has a hobby?
No, she says her hubby has an addiction. And there's no rehab for radio. All right. Are you going to stick around, RPAD, or are you off to watch a movie?
Yeah, probably Kat is going to put in a movie. Yeah, so I'm going to watch a movie, but I will be listening. And you know what's the solution? If you are a drug addict and you are addicted to drugs, what you have to do is you have to hook up your wife to drugs as well, so she won't complain because you guys going to do drugs together. Same thing with the radio. You make sure she becomes a ham radio operator. Just you know, like tie her down and take her to the examiner.
Yeah, well, you know, years and years ago when I was heavily into fishing, everybody said that the solution was to get her interested in that hobby. And I thought, no, that's just not something we would get along doing. And then I started playing golf in a big way. And they said, well, you should get your wife interested in that sport. And no, we need to do our separate things. So my wife has Pinterest and CNN and Facebook and all the rest of that stuff that she plays with. I have radio, and I'm going to keep it that way.
Yeah, Roger. Okay, well, I have another solution for you then. Yeah, not for you. Sorry, you are already married and whatever. So this is not for you. It's for somebody who's looking for a female friend. Why don't you look in that community? So if you are a ham radio operator, maybe you want to be married to a ham radio operator lady who is already a ham radio operator and already addicted, or fisher or a golfer or whatever. You know, like you can go out to the river and look for females and fish right beside her and help her out.
Oh, keep it separate.
What was that, Rick?
Strangely enough, back in the fishing days, there was some jokes going around about fishermen that were interested in finding a mate. So posting that would go out, a gentleman interested in pursuing a relationship with a woman of similar interests, enjoys fishing, hunting. Please send picture of boat, motor, and trailer.
Exactly, yeah. And Rick had a comment there. I'm not sure what that was.
Yeah, good one. Keep it separate. Keep it separate, Mac. And my wife likes it when I go on the radio because she knows that my other hobby is another woman.
Oh, geez. That's the kind of hobby you can't brag about, though.
Yeah, I guess not, eh? But at least when I'm in the radio, on the radio, she says she knows where I am.
Roger that. Roger. Okay, so we're amassing a good list of folks here so far tonight, and we haven't had to revert to on this day in history yet. Let's see. Maybe there's one or two more call signs we can get into the log. This is Victor Alpha 3, India Mike Whiskey, on behalf of the slightly ailing CJZ. So it's not check-ins with Chuck, it's check-ins with Mac tonight. Looking for a couple of more check-ins. Go ahead.
Huh. Slow.
Okay, I saw the signal at an S7. I heard no audio. You want to try it again? Okay, another key up. No copy. Does anybody have a copy on that station trying to check in, or is that just stupid noise? Okay, so no copy, no audio. Let's keep trying for some more real viable contacts here. This is Victor Alpha 3, India Mike Whiskey. This is week number 1526 of the AREG Net, and we're looking for check-ins. Okay, well, let's take a break from check-ins. Chuck, you're not allowed to talk, so we're going to leave you out of this altogether. Number 3 on the list is VE3 PDL. So you've got 2 grandchildren. Are they conspiring to bring 2 more into the fold, or what's going on now?
No PDL.
Okay, Paul's turned the volume down again. That's the usual. All right, BMO, tell me more about upcoming events with this big, heavy-duty HF radio that you've been running. And obviously you've had great success with the antenna installation. What else is in the future? All right, well, geez, they're dropping like flies. I'm going to have to resort to going back to say hello again to George, VE3 GBD. Spring springtime's a long way away. I'll bet you're missing the trailer.
Oh, guaranteed, I am missing the trailer. And then there is somebody that's throwing a recording out there, just being a little poo-poo head as usual. But yeah, V3GBD, I'm here, and I don't know what's going on with everybody else, but I am listening. But we do have a carrier out there, being a jackass.
Well, I've got my jackass filter turned up to full, so I'm not worried about anybody trying to cause a problem. We've got ears on the sky, or eyes in the sky, or whatever you want to call it. It's all good tonight. Yeah, George. Yes, you get used to being able to go and spend time remotely, and throw a few logs on the fire, and sit back and enjoy the sunset and the evening. That's certainly. I can see how people would even embrace doing winter camping and stuff like that. Have you ever done that kind of stuff? Maybe a little skidooing and winter camping, getting a big dose of the great outdoors?
You know what, Mac? When you bring this up, it's probably going to bring a tear to my eye because, yeah, I used to do that up at my parents' place when they lived up north. The skidooing. My dad had the ice fishing hut, and I do miss it. But now, it's been 12 years now, and I have no interest in it anymore because it was fun with my dad, my mom, and the up there just having a good old time, and bonfires in the winter, and jump on the snowmobiles. But yeah, Mac, I haven't done anything like that in, like I said, about 12 years.
Okay, roger that. Yes, obviously those were good times, and some good memories that you've amassed over time. All right, George, I didn't mean to rip a bandage off the wound, but there's all kinds of things that we can think about that brings back memories. I can still think of where my dad set up his retirement home. He bought a piece of property off his cousin, and he retired when he turned 62 years old and built a story and a half back split into the side of a hill. And it was just up from where we used to go fishing for brook trout. And I can remember us walking down the road, and we would each have a little stick in our hand that had some Dacron fishing line and a fishing hook, and we'd have a pouch of worms, and we would step off the road in New Brunswick and walk up this little brook, and we'd come out with a slew of these tiny little trout. Take them back up to my cousin's farm, or my dad's cousin's farm, and gut them, take off the heads and tails, and just dip those little succulent fellows in some seasoned flour and fry them up with dinner. And my goodness, those were the good old days. But that was I'm going to say 55 years ago. that's a memory from way back when. So those are, sometimes you like you say, you get a little tear in your eye when you think back. But the happy times are the happy times, and if I get the opportunity to do some of that stuff with my grandchildren, then I'll be looking forward to that day. Unfortunately, they're a little bit on the young side. So the two youngest grandchildren are now, let's see here, 1.5 years old, and the little fellow that they named after me is only about 8 months old. So definitely have some history to make in the near future. Anyways, thanks for that, George. Appreciate you bringing that up. And I think everybody is probably thinking right now of some memories. Maybe that's a good topic to splash out in front of everybody. Let's all talk about some memories from our childhoods and things that bring joy to us when we remember back. Next up on the list is Andy, VA3TKA, and you guys may not be able to hear him, but I will.
He's there.
Okay, Andy stepped away from the radio. We're back over to Bravo Kilowatt. Rick, are you back with us?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Very good, sir. So for George has brought up some unique memories that spurred some remembrances. Any particular things that you can recall doing as a young man that brings back fond family memories?
Yeah, I wasn't really listening there. I was playing on the computer. I don't have the big radio on, not tonight. And so I wasn't sure what he was saying there. Anyway, you were mentioning about work, and I know exactly what you mean. You can't let work interfere with your hobby or your ham radio service. That's what some people call it. And but I can't remember. But I used to work for the guys in blue, and I mean so I know exactly what you mean about being available for work. I've traveled to Montreal, to Toronto, up north for work, and I've even had to have them guys come and pick me up there in the middle of the night to go on a service call. So I know what you mean about work, but was there anything George brought up there that maybe I should comment on there? Go ahead.
Well, George was talking about wintertime and how he recalled being up with his family and going out for skidoo activities and enjoying the bonfires out in the snow and stuff like that. So kind of a tear in his eye with remembering what his family used to do, but he's no longer doing that kind of stuff since the passing of his father. And I recalled to George that I also recalled some fond memories in the region that my dad settled after his retirement, where we would go down and visit in New Brunswick and go fishing with just a simple hand line and bring home a whole sloot of small trout. But there's all kinds of memories that you can think back of with your family back in the good old bad old days.
Oh yeah. Last we used to go camping. I used to have a tent trailer. Took the family camping with that, and I can remember them getting sick too while we're out there. Too much sun, and then camping in the winter. Yeah, we did that. I was a scout leader for 9 years, and we used to take the boys out camping in the winter time. And I remember probably the last year I was there, they put them all in a cabin, and that they had a change of executive or whatever you want to call it out at the one camp, and it was really cold. So they didn't want any of the scouts to camp outside. But the one time our three of our scouts stayed in a snow hut outside, and they did it quite well. And that me and the other leader, we just set up a pup tent in the snow, dig down the snow, and use nails into the hardened ground, and that was fun. That was fun. And then another point, taking the little pup tent down to the East Coast in New Brunswick and Nova Scotia and Cape Breton Island. Been there, and we went down a motorcycle in May, and lots of rain. But I had a ball going around the Cabot Trail, so there's lots of good memories like that. And if you want to go back to the days when you were kids and you went camping with my dad, I went with my mom and dad, my sister, all through the States. We're all over the States, and I can remember camping all over the place and throwing up that big old canvas cabin tent, something that doesn't exist anymore. The only people that have that anymore, there was one of the ham guys came to field day, and he had been up north. And the guys up north, they have a canvas cabin tent, great big thing, and they put a stove in it. Holy jeez, he brought that to field day. It was a fantastic thing to see on field day. Anyway, hey, that's my memories. So back to you. You're doing a great job there, Mac. VA3IMW, V3BK.
Okay, well, I think I'll come back around to the canvas tent story once again, because there's another notch in my belt. All right, let's see if we can harvest a couple of more call signs for the log. This is Victor Alpha 3 India Mike Whiskey on behalf of Charles tonight, who is a little bit under the weather. He is streaming the net on YouTube, so feel free to look up YouTube and put VA3CJZ in the search bar, and that'll come up. This is Victor Alpha 3 India Mike Whiskey, looking for some check-ins. Please come on in.
VA3 AXJ. I'm alive on the portable.
VA3AXJ. I was kind of wondering where you were. It's good to hear you, Rick. And how's you and family and granddaughter and all the rest of the stuff? Give us some good news.
Good news. I thought I was going to die. I got that virus. I had it for, 3 weeks. That's why I wasn't on last week. The first week, it wasn't too bad. The second week, I was bad. I mean, I had my finger on the dial on the phone. I was going to call the 911. I was hallucinating, no fever, but couldn't get out of bed. I was in bed for a week. And it's just been, is today Wednesday? I thought it was Tuesday. Anyhow, don't remember too much about it, but I hope to God nobody gets what I had. But it's not fun.
Okay, well, we're glad that you're on the top of it, and some people would pay good money for the hallucinations and stuff like that, but I'm sure that this isn't the fun kind. But tell us a little bit about your granddaughter's recovery.
Oh, she's doing excellent. She's still taking a little bit of therapy with her hand and her arm. But other than that, she's pretty well back to normal, back to school. Don't really need any help. But yeah, she's doing fantastic, and thanks for asking.
All right, Rick, definitely glad to hear that. What she went through, nobody should have to. And obviously it pulls at the heartstrings of everybody that hears about it. And glad to hear that you're on the road to recovery. If you were listening in earlier, I think I had shared that I had just had a phone call before ARPAD's net from a friend down on the north end, and he was kind of explicit the way he described going through this, and he never figured he was so careful about wearing a mask and staying away from people and all the rest of that stuff. And now, what's this, 3 years into it, and he says, yep, I did a home test and I got it, and I've slept more in the last 6 days than I have in the last 6 months. So definitely looking for people to get used to dealing with disease. I mean, it's we've been staying away from each other and masking up and doing all kinds of stuff, and I think people actually have forgotten how to get the flu and get over it. So even nowadays, when people are getting a cold or a flu, and it's probably having a harder effect on them because they're not used to bouncing back from it. But nonetheless, we're certainly glad to be healthy. I'm bragging myself. I'm glad I'm doing some traveling for work and business and stuff like that, but I've managed to stay unscathed. Anyways, we'll look forward to hearing from you on the next round. This is Victor Alpha 3 and Mike Whiskey. Still looking for a few more check-ins for the AREG, week number 1526.
Yeah, just one more thing, Mac. It wasn't the COVID. I didn't have the COVID. I had this other virus, which I don't even know what it was. I haven't even been to the doctor. He wanted me to go up, and I says, no, I'm not driving because I can't stand up. I kept shaking, sweating, hot, cold. It's just miserable.
Okay, you had the Rick virus. All right, brand new strain. You never know what it is, but yeah, I mean it could be just a severe version of the flu, right?
That's what I'm thinking, but I'm not sure. I'm not no doctor, but yeah, I couldn't even get out of bed. I had the cold sweats, hot sweats. Holy crap! I'm telling you, I was hell. But yeah, I'm on the mend. I was out today for a while, did some shopping yesterday and today, and salted all my sidewalks tonight. Getting ready for that crap tomorrow. Anyhow, I'll pass it back to you, and I don't know if I'm going to make it for the 7-3 rounds or not, but if I do, I will actually, I'll key up. Back to you.
Okay, Rick. Well, I'm glad to hear that, and we'll give you a call anyways when we come around again. And like I say, I'm glad to hear that you're on the mend. This is Victor Alpha 3 Indy Mike Whiskey, looking for a couple more check-ins for week number 1526.
Victor Echo 3, Lima, Bravo, India.
E3 LVI 5x9 QRZ.
Yeah, 5x9. Dave did 52 contacts, which gives him 104 in his book because he had doing like the twofer.
Oh, yay. That was very good. Very good. I guess he didn't plan on having somebody spot him on the node, right?
No, I asked him, and one of the guys up in Barrie, the A3WP, he put him in the DX cluster. So, fortunately, he wasn't on the phone tonight because he was trying to wrap it up. But no, he did pretty good. He's really appreciative of all the help he got from everybody around locally. It really worked out for him a lot quicker than he thought, and the support was really good.
Yeah, I guess the only part of it I missed out on was the 6 meters because I don't have my vertical up yet. I should have had that done in the spring. Anyways, that's one of those tasks that's going to linger on into 2023. But you're sounding good tonight, Larry. I like what you've done with your hair.
I'm sorry, what's that? You which? Last part?
Yeah, that was a bad joke. Yep, you're looking good tonight. Anyways, any traffic for the net? You obviously heard that Chuck is kind of ailing from some kind of a flu or cold?
Oh yeah, I heard him today when he was contacting Dave there. So yeah, he didn't sound very well. He hasn't sounded well all week. I guess he picked up whatever it is. Who knows? And you never know what's out there nowadays. Like you say, we don't get out there enough to get over some of the stuff that's around. But no, he'll get over it. I'm sure he will.
Roger that. Yep. You just got to bounce back. I would say in the last 6 months, I've taken a staunch stance on masking. I do not. Not that I want to get sick, and not that I want to pass anything on to anybody else. But at some point in time, we have to return to a normal lifestyle. So if you're in a situation where somebody's at risk and you have to take extra efforts, then so be it. But as far as that goes, I come and go from stores and businesses, and I'm now traveling on business, so I've been able to stay away from the dastardly disease, and not saying that's the right choice for everybody, but back in the good old days, right? When they found out some other kid in the neighborhood had chicken pox or whatever, typically the families would send the kids over to associate with them so that they could get that under their belt and get over it in their youth. But that kind of stuff. So yes, the more of your exposure to some of these common ailments perhaps helps you build your immunity. As long as you don't let yourself down on the other side, right? Good nutrition and sleep habits and stuff like that. Anyways, Larry, you going to stick around for a while?
Yeah, definitely. I was actually watching a YouTube meeting tonight, so it's over, and yes, I'll be around. And as for the masking, the wife and I were not. We have started again, just for going into stores and stuff like that. Probably for the last about 3 weeks, maybe a month. If we find the store is not busy, we'll remove them. But in normal circumstances, going into a grocery store, yes, we do wear them. And the famous Walmart, where there's people in there with, their pants down around their ankles, and some of them need to wear proper apparel. The women do, that is. So, anyways, that's enough of that. But no, I'll turn it back over to you, Mac. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for painting that picture, Larry. There's some things you can't unsee. Anyways, just a quick note before you go. I was tuning around on, 15 meters. And strangely enough, California came up out of the mud and had another quick chit-chat with the woohoo guy from California, Greg. Don't remember his call sign offhand, but it was a nice 5x5 contact on 15 meters. Anyways, still looking for a couple of more check-ins. So this is Victor Alpha 3 India Mike Whiskey on behalf of the AREG week number 1526. Looking for check-ins. All right. So I'm going to go to the top of the list, and it is now 20:59, which means, where are we? We're just about 9 o'clock. So we're an hour in. Wondering if Chuck has any words of wisdom or maybe some direction on the well-renowned on this day. Chuck, did you want to share anything?
Hey, Mac. Yeah, sure thing. VA3CJZ. I think I can jump in there and be the co-net controller for a few minutes. And by the way, I've been doing on this day now for 94 weeks in a row. So this is week 94 for on this day. Let's start off with some birthdays, shall we? Nostradamus is our first birthday boy, born in 1503 on this day. Next, King George VI. That's Queen Elizabeth's father. He was born on this day, 1895. Here's a fun one. Felix the Cat. On this day in 1919. Anthropomorphic cartoon character created in the silent film era. Happy birthday, Felix. Next, we got Cliff Williams. He's the English rock bassist for AC/DC. On this day in 1949. So that'd make him about 73 or so. Next, we won't even do that one. Let's start off with people who passed away on this day. Famous people, celebrities, and historical figures. Let's start off with Dracula, also known as Vlad the Impaler. He was born in 1431, but he passed away on this day in 1476 at the young age of 45. He was killed in battle. Next, the passing of George Washington. He passed away on this day in 1799. Born in 1732. He was 67. Here's one you beer drinkers might appreciate. Alexander Keith passed away on this day in 1873. He was actually a Scottish-Canadian politician. He was the fourth mayor of Halifax and founder of the Alexander Keith's Nova Scotia Brewery. Passed away on this day at the age of 78. If you eat cereal, you might have heard of the name John Harvey Kellogg. Passed away on this day, 1943. He was an American surgeon and nutritionist and inspired the flaked cereal industry. He was 91. Baseball. Roger Maris passed away in 1985. 7-time Major League Baseball All-Star. Next, we got Peter O'Toole, famous actor. He passed away in 2013. He was 81 years old. How's that for now? We got some more, but you want to see if we can get any more check-ins? I'll try on my side here. This is Victor Alpha 3, Charlie Juliet Zulu with the Amateur Radio Exchange Group. And we're looking for check-ins from anywhere, anyone. Please come now. All right. Okay, so that's it for people that passed away. Peter O'Toole was the last one. Next, we have events in history that are worthy of note. You've seen the movie The 47 Ronin, which actually means leaderless samurai. So in 1702, on this day, the 47 Ronin avenged the death of their master in Japan. So it's an actual fact in history. I did not know that. I just thought it was a movie. First subway opened in Glasgow, Scotland, 1896 on this day. On this day in 1901 was the very first table tennis tournament in London. That's ping pong. And then the Wright brothers on this day in 1903 attempt to fly the Wright Flyer for the first time at Kitty Hawk. I think they were airborne for like 27 feet or something like that. Next on this day, 1911, First expedition to reach the South Pole is the Norwegian Roald Amundsen Antarctic Expedition, 1911. Oh, you're gonna love this one. 1914, on this day, U.S. President Woodrow Wilson signs Harrison Narcotics Tax Act to regulate and tax production, importation, and distribution of, get this, opiates and coca products. So they used to actually allow heroin and cocaine, and they taxed it. Isn't that something, eh? 1914, the Narcotics Tax Act. Huh. All right. I'll give you one last one before we pass it back over to Mac, so I can get myself another coffee. 1947, people witnessed the birth of the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, also known as NASCAR, and it's founded in Daytona Beach, Florida. So that's why they have the first race of the year, usually in January, in Daytona. All right, Mac, we'll send it back to you. VA3CJZ.
Well, thanks for the enlightening information there, Chuck. That's always something I look forward to. I think even though PDL goes poo-poo on all of the on this day, he probably enjoys it more than he lets on. And we'll see how all that goes. Maybe the flickering lights on his radio screen might wake him up again. Who knows? But thanks for all of that. And yeah, it's strange, between John Adams and all the other politicians in the earlier history of the states linked to beer production. Strange that. Obviously works to some extent. Okay, let's see if we can wake up Mr. VE3PDL from his old man nap and see if he's still with us. Paul?
No.
Okay, well, Paul's obviously deep in slumber or fist deep in some kind of food or other activity. Who knows? I'm looking for a few more check-ins, though. This is Victor Alpha 3, India Mike Whiskey, on behalf of the AREG, week number 1526. Looking for a couple of more check-ins. All right, nobody else is looking to sign up with us right now. PDL is indisposed. That brings us to Pierre, BMO. You're still with us? Still awake?
Nope.
Oh my goodness, he's got new tubes in his big HF radio, and we're not going to hear from him for another decade. All right, that brings me to this happy event of reaching out to George, GBD. Always good to hear your booming voice.
Well, sir, nobody else wants to key up. Babies. They're all babies. That's the problem. They're babies.
Well, sometimes the babies have to have a little nap now and then, but hey, that's good. Anyways, thank you very much for sharing the stories of the family skidoo trips and winter camping and all the rest of that good stuff. Sorry if I ripped a bandage off a sore wound, but sometimes those memories are bittersweet. Roger?
Oh, yeah, buddy. It's all good. It's all good. All good. I love memories. And, look at memories.
Yeah, very, very, very good. I immediately came to another memory when Rick shared the stories about camping in canvas tents, because I do recall there when my dad and I went up to a family friend's farm out near Timmins, and he had borrowed a canvas tent. All he had to do was agree to waterproof it before we used it. So we had we had this tent set up in the middle of a cow pasture in Monteith, Ontario. Everybody can scramble towards their computer and look that up. But we were up on the hill, so we had to apply a coating of waterproofing to the outside of the tent. And once that was done, my dad took me into the backwoods and took out his single-shot long rifle 22, and we played some target practice there for a little bit. And we were on the farm with this friend of the family, but we were other than dinner meals and that kind of stuff, we were trying to play roughing it. And so when we got up for breakfast, we did light a little fire and take out a cast iron skillet and lay in some strips of bacon and have some bacon and eggs straight off the fire. And it was fun. Obviously, like I said, that was memories from 50 some odd years ago. But those memories live on for years and years and years after those are departed. Back to you, George.
Comment.
Go ahead, Chuck.
Yeah, before I forget there, Mac, you can add Wade, Victor Alpha 3, November Charlie Alpha to the logbook. He logged in through YouTube. And I've got one contest announcement to make. It's that time of year again for the Rack Winter Contest this weekend at 7 p.m. The Rack Winter Contest will begin for 24 hours. Now, the bands for that contest go from 2 meters, 6, 10, 15, 20, 40, 80, and 160. And that's for sideband and CW. So again, the Rack Winter Contest. And I understand there's been some changes to our Ontario designation, like GTA or, all those different ones. So I posted a email I got from the gentleman who wrote the software for my logging program, and it details some of those changes. So feel free to go to the Facebook AREG page and read up on that. So I'm not sure what's our designation, and so I will look into it though. So again, the Rack Winter Contest goes from 2 meters, 6, 10, 15, 20, 40, 80, and 160 for CW and phone. And I believe that's it for now. Mac, we'll send it back to you. This is VA3 CJZ.
Okay, very good, Chuck. So this is also what is known as Winter Field Day, Roger?
Well, I don't know. It just says here on the contest calendar website, the RAC winter contest. It's only on for 24 hours, though. It's not 2 days like some of the other ones. I think Winter Field Day is in the new year.
Yeah, now that you mention it, 24 hours. No. Okay, yeah. So the RAC Winter Contest. Excellent. Looking forward to that. I do know that there's been a lot of dialogue about the reporting and the zoning. I always felt misused by being part of GTA. I would have preferred to be Southern Ontario, but I understand that they're reclassifying this area as the Golden Horseshoe. So it's it's going to be something new for our friends south of the border, but nonetheless, obviously look it up on. There's some good links on ONTARS for all the upcoming contests, or contestcalendar.com. Thanks for sharing that, Chuck. Still looking for a couple more check-ins. I've added NCA to the log. This is Victor Alpha 3, Indy Mike Whiskey, and this is week number 1526 for the AREG, the Amateur Radio Exchange Group. New check-ins, please come forward.
Victor Echo 3, Charlie India Sierra.
Victor Echo 3, Charlie Indio Sierra. That's not a call sign that I recognize, but you're more than welcome. Good evening, sir. First personal?
Roger, Mac. It's Merv, Mike, Echo Radio Victor. And we're over in Aldershot.
Aldershot, Burlington-ish kind of area, right?
Right. Yeah, we're not too far from the Bay Shore, probably a kilometer up towards Plains Road here.
Okay, Roger that. That's why you're coming to me with a S9, possibly 10 over at times. Good signal, and I'm sorry if I didn't recognize your call sign. Now that you've said Merv, I do recall hearing you from the past. Any interesting traffic for the net?
Not at the present time, Mac. We just finished just before 9 working with a puzzle with the XYL here, which has become a pastime over the last 2 years or so with the COVID isolation, etc. And she's retired to the TV, and I thought I'd turn the radio on, and just picked up your conversations after 9 here.
Well, that brings up an interesting parallel. I was just saying that my wife has CNN, Facebook, Pinterest, and all the rest of that stuff, and I have radio. The interesting part for me, if you recall when Rogers went down in a big way, I immediately said, well, it's okay for me because my mass media is still active. So her TV and all the rest of that stuff was down. It's not funny, but it's funny in that kind of way. Anyways, yes, you're Aldershot. I'll tell you, my favorite Canadian Tire store usually was the Aldershot store. I found that location to be most conducive to everything I needed, and somehow the way they managed the operation there, it was even better for the consumer. But how far off of the lakeshore are you?
Well, we're up on Plains Road, so I guess we're a kilometer or so away from the lakeshore. And we're in a condo building. We're on the 3rd floor. And I do appreciate the signal report because we're using an indoor antenna here. And we're facing south, so obviously it's going right out through the window. The antenna is an old Hustler quarter wave mobile antenna, so I've been dragging it around for years, and I figured, well, I should start using it. So I built a small wooden stand for it, put a counterpoise underneath it for a ground plane configuration, and it seems to work.
And work it does, absolutely. So I'm assuming it's that antenna is going to be suitable both for 20 meters and 70 centimeters, or sorry, 2 meters and 70 centimeters. So there's a number of nets that are going on throughout the week. There's a 7 o'clock net that runs from Monday to Thursday on 446.125. That is also a Simplex net. And then on the weekends, that same net runs on the ZOE repeater 443.075. And obviously, this net every Wednesday evening, now for 1,526 weeks in a row on this frequency. So, yeah, the other thing that's notable, a lot of stations that have been coming out of apartment buildings, they've also adopted the use of the X30 antenna, which is a very, very tight package, not very noticeable. And if you want to set it up on a balcony, you can conceal it quite easily. And it gives you good gain and access to both the 440 and 140 megahertz ranges. Okay, Murph, glad to hear you in there, and we're looking forward to hearing more from you in the near future. Now back to you.
Okay, very good, Mac. Yeah, thanks for the info on the nuts there. At the present time, I don't have really capability with the 440. I did have a handheld here. Well, I still have the handheld, but the audio went out on it, and it still functions on the transmit, but I don't have a means to receive at the present time. And yeah, we've been in the condo here, I guess, for about 8 years at this point. And all the rigs have been in the closet until the early part of this year, when we decided to pull out the VHF stuff anyway. We still have an old Kenwood 940 tucked away. And I'm not even sure it works at this point because it's been stopped. But the bug has been growing as time goes on here, so maybe we'll get that pulled out and see if it still works, and sort of try to devise some sort of antenna out in the balcony. That's about all we have at the moment, Matt. I heard Chuck there, and I gather he's a little under the weather. As I listened, I guess when you first came on for a few moments earlier this evening, and I almost feel that I'm catching a little something with a tickle in the throat here, but and hopefully that goes away.
Roger that. And since we're all keeping 2 meters away from each other, hi, we can be sure that we're not catching anything from each other. Anyways, Merv, thank you very much. And boy, oh boy, that Kenwood radio sounds like a juicy little piece of history. And if you decide that you're not going to use it for any purpose of your own, just let us know if it goes up on the market, because I'm sure somebody's going to be raring to pick it up. All right, let's see here. We're now at 21:24 on the clock. Still looking for some more check-ins. This me being greedy. This is Victor Alpha 3 India Mike Whiskey on behalf of week number 1526 of the AREG. New check-ins, come on in.
You can add VE3FNI Sean, checked in from YouTube. VA3CJZ.
All right. Well, we got 2 computer geeks that are logging in through YouTube. So yes, I didn't actually recognize VA3 NCA. Wade, glad to hear that you've managed to type a few keystrokes. And Sean, VE3 FNI. I trust that your piloting endeavors have been well rewarded. Hopefully you're all finished up your flight training and you now have that twin engine IFR rating under your belt. All right. Thanks for that, Chuck. Still looking for a couple more check-ins. Victor Alpha 3 Indy Mike Whiskey for AREG. Come on in.
VA3 and FG on the portable.
VA3 NFG on the portable. Good evening, Steve. Are you done work already?
Yeah, that's a Roger. It was done yesterday. I've been off today, so still doing stuff around the house. That's all, Mac. So I got a general check-in for this evening. Thanks for, and Chuck, thanks for doing the net there, and we'll just send it back your way there. Everyone's sounding good and loud this evening. VA3 NFC.
Okay, the last transmission was a little bit into the mud. Wouldn't be a bad place to have a relay. Somebody from the East Mountain, perhaps?
He said thanks for doing the net, and he heard Chuck was under the weather. Hope he's feeling better.
Okay, roger that. Sounds like he's still at work and perhaps making his way home. Okay, thanks for that, Steve. We got you in the log, and thanks for the relay, Larry. Does he have any further traffic before we let him go?
VA3 NFG, VE3LB. Anything else, Steve?
No, that's all I got there for now, there, Larry. Thanks.
Yep. Are you on your way home, Steve?
No, I'm at home. I'm on the portable.
Oh, you're at home on the portable. Oh, okay. A little staticky. All right. You must be out in the backyard then.
Yeah, I was let the dog out about 20 minutes, and still haven't made it back downstairs to the shack yet.
Okay. Well, you got another half an hour before I think Mac will wrap it up about 10 o'clock because he doesn't have to go to work tomorrow. He's got the rest of the year off.
All very nice, yeah. That's not like some of us. I have to work tomorrow, so I won't be up too late tonight.
Okay, Steve, no problem. All right, Mac, he's on the portable in the backyard with the dog. If he gets the opportunity before 10 o'clock, he will go downstairs and fire up the base.
All right. Thanks for the relay, Larry, and thanks for coming in and saying hi to us, Steve. This is Victor Alpha 3, India Mike Whiskey, week number 1526 of the AREG. Some more check-ins. Come on in. Okay, well, sounds like we may have harvested all we're going to get. Let's see if we can wake our little man on the East Mountain up there, V3 PDL. Are you back with us? No contact. V3 BMO. Pierre, how about you?
I think they're both at the same place, horizontal.
What happens? Oh, wait a minute. Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. All right. We're just going to go ahead and say hello again to George, just because he's paying attention.
V3 GBD. I just had an argument with the wife, and I'm going to be shutting her down and go argue some more.
Oh, George, come on. You got to remember, right? Happy wife, happy life. Any argument you have today, if you win the argument, you lose the war. Anyways, I trust all goes well, and Everybody remember, you never go to bed angry or hangry or anything like that. Okay, George, this is your 73 then?
Yeah, 7-3s. I'm shining her down.
All right, there you go. V3, golden, brown, and delicious. Thanks, George, and make sure you put some coin in the meter in the ditch. Anyways, all right, let's see. Well, you're going to go to Mount Hope again and see if Andy's back with us. VA3TKA. All right, well, I could just pretend like I'm talking to Andy because I'm probably the only one that heard him. Anyways, let's go back and say hello again to the Big Kahuna. BK, you still with us?
Oh, you talking about me?
Oh, roger that. Isn't that what Big Kahuna means? BK?
All right. Yeah, I
Good one.
just to mention, on Thursday night they have a net on 220. I think it's 223 or 222. Not sure. 740 Burlington on 220. And I checked in last week, but then I got tied up talking to Arpad or somebody, and so I didn't. The go around, I wasn't there. But anyway, so we'll say 73 to everybody too. I guess it's 73 round. And good job there, Mac. Back to you. V3 BK.
All right, Rick. Well, we're not trying to shut it down too quickly, but if you're going QRT, we'll definitely wish you all the best. I do remember Chris mentioning that Thursday night they were cranking up the 220 net in Burlington. So the 220 repeater is active. The best option is to look up on Repeater Book. That's an app for your phone, tablet, or your computer. And if you turn on the filters for the 220 frequencies, you'll find that repeater. And I believe they start that net at 7:45 each Thursday. Not sure how well it's gone, but I do know that Chris, RWJ is a big proponent of the 220 frequency. Probably underutilized, and we have to remind ourselves that if we don't use these bands that have been allocated for amateur radio activities, then obviously there's going to be commercial advances on reallocation of these band frequencies. So it is that, use it or lose it. So get out there and support your local nets and make sure that we keep these airways alive. All right, Rick, thanks for coming in, and I appreciate your input, and we're certainly looking for some good news about REG in the near future. I'll move on upon your final.
Contact.
Go ahead, Larry.
I'm sorry, I must have missed it. I was going to ask Rick there. VE3 or VE3BK, VE3LBI. How is Reg?
Yeah, okay. Reg is home. He had a stroke, and like he sent me a short, sweet email, and the second word he didn't actually finish it. So who knows? I haven't heard back from him. He's got his computer on right now. I tried to Skype him, but got no answer. So I haven't actually talked to him yet. Anyway, Mac, back on the repeater thing. A 224-740 is the one for tone 131.8 is Burlington. And also remind anybody that's got a 220 radio, go looking for, there's quite a few repeaters on there, and one that's local here, 224-520, and there is no tone on that one. I don't think. Oh yeah, there is a tone on it. Yeah, make a liar out of me. I think it's 131.8 though, and that's the WIC repeater, and that is used quite often too by some of the local guys. I heard VE3ROR on there today. So I monitor that one, and that's a good one. But anyway, I'll let you guys know when if I hear from Reg. And I was kind of hoping I'd hear from him tonight, but like I said, computer on, Skype working, but no answer, so he's probably sleeping or something. Who knows?
Yeah, okay, Rick. I know you left early on Monday night there, and I wonder if he was actually you were talking to him on Skype. All right, thanks, buddy. No problem. All right, VE3BK, VE3LBI. Thanks, Mac.
Okay, thank you both. And next on the list is Arpad, although he's gone to watch a movie or something like that. Arpad, are you still with us?
Comment.
Who's that?
Victor Alpha 3, Charlie Juliet Zulu. I do have a couple more incidentals on this day if you would like me to continue on with that.
Well, Chuck, you're always welcome to jump in. Thank you.
All right. Once again, thank you, Mac, for for helping run the net once again for me tonight. Much appreciated. I am the net controller at this point in time. And last time on this day, we talked about NASCAR being born in 1947 on this day. So next we'll go to 1967. DNA is created in a test tube in 1967 on this day. Here's one I'm sure you'll all love to hear about. It's also in 1967. The Prime Minister of Canada, Lester B. Pearson, announces that he is retiring from politics, and he is succeeded by none other than Pierre Elliott Trudeau. All right. Well, you've all heard of the Jackson 5 with Michael Jackson, of course, and all his brothers and sisters and whatnot. They were made famous by the Ed Sullivan Show. And so their very first appearance on the Ed Sullivan Show was in 1969. I think Michael Jackson was only 11 years old at the time. So there you go. 1969 on the Ed Sullivan Show. Next, we have in 1971, the Golden Gate Bridge lights go out all night due to a power failure. That must have been interesting. That's one place I never did get to visit when I was in California. The bridge. Okay. Let's jump ahead to 1974. Disaster film The Towering Inferno is released on this day in 74, starring Steve McQueen and Paul Newman. I think that was the very first time that they both starred in the same movie. Normally, these two guys were powerhouses on their own. But here we have both of them together. The Towering Inferno. I remember seeing that. 1980 on this day at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, there's a 10 minutes of silence in memory of John Lennon. Okay. 1992. Lennox Lewis, the boxer. Lennox Lewis is given the WBC title when Riddick Bowe refused to fight him. Isn't that nice, eh? Oh, you don't want to fight him? Okay, well, he gets the belt. Wow. Okay. And of course, sadly, on this day is the Sandy Hook massacre at an elementary school in Newtown, Connecticut. 28 people, including 20 children, are shot to death. Prayers go out to the family of those involved. Oh, and in 2016, Amazon announces its first delivery by drone 2 kilometers from their warehouse in the UK. I understand it's coming back again. They're about to fully launch it at some point soon. Okay, so 2016 was their very first drone delivery, 2 kilometers away from the warehouse. Okay, this ought to freak some people out. If you've ever had to go in for surgery, in 2017, a British surgeon by the name of Simon Bramhall admits to branding the liver of 2 patients with his initials. Can you imagine? Well, I guess those patients are well off financially now, but the mental trauma, wow. I'm sure they sued the you know what off that guy. That was in 2017, 5 years ago. And again in 2017, now we have Walt Disney Company buys most of 21st Century Fox for a measly $52.4 billion with a B. And finally, the Beverly Hillbillies mansion sells for $150 million in 2019, 3 years ago, becoming California's most expensive property. So, yeah, it sure looked nice back in the 60s. Yeah, the Beverly Hills mansion. And that's it for on this day, Mac and everyone else. I'll send it back to you there, Mac, and having trouble focusing here at the moment. So thanks again, VA3CJZ.
Thanks for that, Chuck. Liver is not the heart, man. Can you imagine the heartburn?
Okay. Excellent. So thanks for that, Chuck. Just cover one eye, and hopefully the vision comes back. So BK, you had a comment?
I think Rick was just saying thank you there. No problem there, Rick. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
Okay, roger that. And Larry? Alrighty. Anyways, Chuck, that's excellent, and an excellent addendum to on this day. We're now at 21:42, and I forget where I was. Oh yes, Arpad was conspicuous by his absence. We can go to the other Rick, AXJ, see if he's still awake and still with us. Glad to hear your good news. Anything else you want to make up on the way out?
No, not really, Mac. Much more to say. Just wishing Chucky there a speedy recovery. It doesn't sound too good. Hope nothing serious. Yeah, I'm back on the ICOM right now. I'm going to be shutting her down anyhow. I got to get some shut eye, get ready for tomorrow. I'm going to be in for a mess to clean up, but we hope not. Anyhow, thanks for doing the nut. And I thought today was Tuesday. Lucky thing I turned the radio on. Anyhow, yeah, the A3XJ on the QRT Mac. Thanks for doing the net, and have a fine night.
All right. I'm so glad that you were able to say hello to us tonight. And as usual, always looking for some good news. So very glad that your granddaughter is so well along her way in recovering from that tragic incident. All right. Next on my list here is VE3LBI, also known as Listener Larry, from what I hear from way back when.
Oh, way back before you were an operator.
Roger that.
Nope, nothing to report. Just listening along here. Is this the 7-3 round, or you're just kind of faking it?
Well, it's 21:44. 21:45. Click. We do have 15 minutes to fill, and obviously we're not in a big hurry to move along. I know that Dave was out on an extravaganza this afternoon. That was interesting. He covered, I believe it was 8 or 9 bands, and he's looking to fill his NCCC award and helped everybody else gain multiple parts on multiple bands as far as login awards. I also saw on the AREG page that you had posted a new award. I'm not sure what that was, like 30,000 contacts or something like that. So what benchmark have you set so far?
Oh, that was 3,000. Yeah, I made 3,000 contacts of new parks. So 3,000 new parks since January of this year. And I'm really close. I'm hoping before the end of the year I can get my 10,000 QSOs.
Wow.
Oh my goodness gracious. You're certainly plowing a wide path in front of us. I managed to get my 800 unique contacts award just last week, so I think I'm pretty much even Steven with Kevin, and yeah, but we have a long way to go and a short time to get there. I guess the best of my stuff is the parks down in Dominican Republic. I think which one is it? There's one of those areas that has one park, and I made contact, so that's 100%. Anyways, Larry, glad to have you in here with us. Next on the list is NCA, who checked in on the web, and coming next on my list is Marv, who's waking up his radio habit. VE3 Charlie India Sierra. Marv.
Yes. Merv.
Okay, thanks, Mac. And, thanks also to Chuck there for the history. That's interesting. Love to follow along with that stuff. And regarding the comment earlier about the 220 net, we partook of it a couple of weeks ago for the first time. At least the first time it was back in operation. And again last week. And it's been arranged with Jason VA3 TFG, who was acting as the net control. And the reason we're back on that, we do have an old standard twin bender handheld here that's functions on 2 meters and the 220 band, and we've got it set up on the 220 band. We fashioned a J-pole, like in an indoor antenna, put a J-pole configuration out of some 300 ohm twin lead, and it seems to work okay. On 2 meters here right now, we're using our old mobile, which is an ICOM 28A, IC28A, with about 25 watts input. And a comment, Chuck, your signal here in Burlington, Aldershot, is the top of the meter, as is Max. So the line, it's almost line of sight communication by the looks of it. So with that, we'll pass along our 73 for the evening. Thanks, Mac, and thanks, Chuck, for running the net and allowing us to use the equipment here. So 73 to all, and move this one along. This is V3CIS Clear.
Very good.
Okay, very good, Murph. And Chuck and I share a love for the X200 antenna. We're both running that from our own locations. Obviously, there's a little difference in elevation, but in communicating with you, we're probably, as you say, line of sight. So very good. Chuck, did you want to share any signal reports with Merv before he departs?
Yeah, sure thing there, Mac. Merv, you're also top of the scale here. And if you like, you can listen to yourself and see your signal on my YouTube stream. Just put in my call in the YouTube search there, and you can play it back to whenever you were on, which right now it's 9:50 p.m. If you want to move the slider at the bottom there to the 9:48 roughly p.m. mark, you'll be able to listen to yourself. Thanks for checking in, Merv. Much appreciated.
Okay, very good, Chuck, and I appreciate the signal report there too. And we'll certainly do that. We're going to check that. We did that the first time we were on with your exchange, and it was interesting to hear the voice for the first time in a long, long time. So take care, 73. All the best.
7-3.
All right. Well, I'll pick it up, and let's see. Next on the list, we had V3FNI, who was checking in virtually through YouTube. Not sure if he's able to come back on in RF, but nonetheless, the tail end of the list, we still have Steve, V3NFG. Not sure if you got back to a radio I can hear you on.
Yeah, it's VA3.
Oh, Victor Alpha 3. November Fox, go anywhere. Still doesn't mean I can hear him.
Yeah, I don't hear him either.
All right, well, 73 is in absentia. So we're now at 21:52 on the clock. I'm your stand-in net controller host and concierge. We're still looking for a couple more check-ins, although it may be getting a little bit long in the tooth. Let's make this a last call. Any last-minute check-ins that want to get in and say hello to us? Victor Alpha 3 Indy Mike Whiskey on behalf of the AREG, week number 1526.
VA3 XLJ, check in, check out, and 7-3. How that sounds?
Vanya, that sounds super. You're an S9 to me tonight. Check in, check out, bring home some takeout food, and happy wife, happy life. Roger?
Kind of, yeah. Talking about food, there's this guy at work I work with. He's just a shift after me. So every time the certain team wins a soccer game, so he buys enough food probably to feed half of the factory. So I've been eating the leftovers for the last 3 days, and I think the leftovers they're gonna last us into probably like a week and a half from now. Like how much food was bought last time at the last the game. So that's a good thing, but yeah, the problem is like you eat so much at the beginning of the shift, and you don't need anything for next 24 hours until you get back to it again. So, but it's okay. The good thing is like I like the dish or food, whatever is there. So it's good. I can eat it every day for a little while.
Well, there you go. There you go. So is this like a big platter of biryani, or is this Greek food, or what kind of food are you enjoying?
It's kind of like the barbecue stuff. So there's lots of it. So that thing, then there was it's kind of something like a sour cream, but much better. And the few other stuff like spreads for the bread, but it's a fat pita bread, so with the big holes and soft skin, but not in a regular bread shape. It's the kind of like a circle, so you kind of get an idea. So pile up 10 of those little thingamajiggies, warm it up in microwave, add other stuff on the bread, and eat a huge sandwich every day. So the only problem is like it's so salty. Like most of the night I do, like I drink like 3-4 liters of water just to quench the thirst. But it is what it is.
Okay, that sounds even better. That's my favorite. So it's that sounds Greek. So the sauce you're talking about is known as tzatziki. It's a cucumber garlic sauce, and the meat can either be chicken, beef, or lamb, and it's served inside a flatbread. Forget what it's called. Anyways, you're making me really, really hungry right now, and I don't think if I had to guzzle down 2 gallons of water to wash away the salty flavor, I would just do that. Anyways, Vanya, thanks for checking in with us tonight and rounding out the group. Anything further?
No, I'm gonna guys give you 7-3 because I had a bit of the busy day today, so I didn't do much. Actually, I just came in like maybe 10-15 minutes ago to grab this. Actually, my magnets came for my for my head, and not for my head, on my shoulders, like the radio head, and and so I came downstairs in the basement to find a screwdriver so I can screw the magnets in, and I'm still waiting for the cable. So maybe eventually I'll get one of the radios in the car and then leave it there to be all the time. We will see how that's gonna work out, but I'm just waiting for something for the cables, and then something to how I'm gonna mount the thing so I don't have to drill to the car. But it's not old enough yet. Maybe 5-6 years. I'm not gonna mind poking the hole here and there, but we'll see. Basically, that's all excitement on my end. So I'm gonna guys give you a 7-3, and I guess if everything stays the way it is, like most likely we're gonna talk back again on a Friday on our PodsNet.
On our PodsNet or on the Rag Chew. I'm looking forward to the Rag Chew. Okay, Vanya. So 73s, all the best to you and your kids and the fine missus. We got 21:57 on the clock, so I think we're going to make this an expedited 73 round. Chuck, I'm going to leave you for last, so we'll see if PDLs come back in to join us.
Nope.
VE3 PDL, did you have something short to say? Yeah, can't even fish them out of the water there. BMO, you're already asleep. If you're not, come on back. Okay, GBD has already given us his 73s, and I hope he survives the night. VA3 TKA, Tango Kilo Alpha. Andy, last words?
No, he's gone.
Okay, that's 73s from Mount Hope. And I think the Big Kahuna has already signed off. Rick, BK, are you still with us?
Yeah, you know what? I'm still listening. 73 to everybody still there. V3 BK.
All right. Thanks for hanging in, Rick. Appreciate it. And certainly enjoy sharing this information with you guys. Next on the list, I think he's already gone, watching the movies with the missus, Arpad, VA3 VAD.
Yeah, he's gone.
Okay, no copy. AXJ is already checked out. LBI, I think, gave us his 73s, but maybe he's still listening.
No, I didn't hang up yet. Just on the phone with Dave, so I'll say 7-3 now. Take care, everybody. Victor Echo 3 Lima Bravo, and have a good night.
7-3s, Larry. Thanks for playing along. NCA was on the web, but if he's still maybe if he had a chance to get to his radio, who knows? Wade, are you with us? Okay, no copy there. Marv already gave us his 73s. F&I was also a web check-in. That brings us to Steve, VA3NFG. Did you manage to get back to a radio? No copy there. With that, I'm going to thank you one and all for spending time with me tonight for week number 1526 of the AREG, and I'll turn it over to Chuck to close up the net.
Okay, Mac, thank you very much for subbing for me tonight. Once again, very much appreciated. I'd like to say thank you to everybody who checked in and who just listened. Remember, you can also play the net back on YouTube. Just put my call sign in the YouTube search. With that, yeah, it's 10:01 p.m. over here, and thanks again, Mac, and we look forward to talking to you again as soon as my throat
his throat clears up and allows him to do so. 73 to 1 and all, Victor Alpha 3 India Mike Whiskey, and Victor Alpha 3 Charlie Juliet Zulu. No, that's wrong. CJZ. No, that's right. CJZ are returning this frequency back to normal amateur use. Some people may hang around for a little bit to kibitz about, but 73s to 1 and all. We're not going to choke and cough anymore. We're just going to turn the frequency back over to normal use. 7-3s all. Victor Alpha 3, India Mike Whiskey. Monitoring for a short period.
Way to go, Mac. Thank you.